Why did you have Dak in your top 10?
I mean, to me, it's kind of like a Geno plus, I guess, is how I view Dak. And I think one thing I love about Dak that leaves him open to a lot of the scrutiny that he faces, that he is willing to try some of these more, difficult throws on the football field where,
Yeah.
yeah, he's not
Very,
afraid.
he goes, hey, that throw's open. Run over the middle. You're gonna get your head shaved off, Jake Ferguson. But yeah, let's go do it again. Go try it again.
Go through a laser beam at your head, 25 yards down the field. Please catch it. But I just respect the willingness to try, and I think that those trades are what gives him the ability to keep the Cowboys afloat every year and to get them to the playoffs every year. I know it hasn't been probably as productive as he would like once he gets to the postseason. I just think he does so much from a pockets perspective, and lets you do really anything you want in the passing game. It's more just kind of like the consistency on the accuracy down the field maybe is what keeps him from the top of the list for me. But I really do think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and some of the discourse around him gets really tiring to me because I'm just like, man, this guy's really, really good.
I've always been a guy that really likes Dak because just he's quarterback teaching tape. Like him, Goff, are probably the top two in my head that I would teach a guy. And I think this offense this year, this is making sense to me. The Pickens trade, the offensive line improvements. So that's why I am more kind of bullish on Dak. He is a guy I've always been high on. I have him an 8 here. He's kind of the king of this tier.
Yeah, no, I've actually generally been a Dak Prescott defender.
Yeah, I know.
I really like. Yeah, I really like him as a quarterback.
I know. Yeah, you've always been complimentary of him. So
yeah, just worth noting. I think he probably didn't play his best football before going down last year with the injury.
It was a weird first month of the season. That was
really weird first month of the season. But I do think they can actually do a lot of things to make Dak Prescott's life easier this year. Like I think they're going to run. You're going to use more motion. I think they're going to run a lot more play action than they did last year. But like you just made a great point about this, he's a guy who can handle being like the old school quarterback. I do think that has in some circles gotten him like an additional bump. Like, oh yeah, he does all these things with like the old school quarterback. That's right. He still also makes some really puzzling decisions at times, and will cost them in I wouldn't say big moments, but he will cost them. But so do all these guys in this group.
Last year, like statistically, is such an outlier. I just don't think it's going to happen again.
What's good, people? It's your boy, Mr. Rome, Cowboys Fan Talk. Right back, like I never left. This one's going to be a little bit different. This one, shout out to Brandon Laurie on Twitter. He finds a lot of nuggets that really spark my interest and spark my thought process. Go give him a follow. Excellent follow. He digs deep. He gets all of the players' Instagram news and just a lot of things that we might not see if we're not on the trail to look for. So I appreciate him for what he does. Now let's talk about Dak Prescott. I played that clip in the very beginning just so you can kind of understand where this thought process is coming from, because let's just lay the table out. Let's just talk about why I still feel like Dak Prescott is 1,000% a top 10 quarterback. And a lot of y'all might say, what does that matter? Dak has not done enough in the playoffs. Let's just cut to the chase. I know where this is going to go in the comments. Before I upload the video, no one is confused. No one is not understanding that, let's just say 60 to 70% of the Cowboys fan base, probably more, don't even like Dak Prescott. That's why the most hated thing is on the thumbnail. We know y'all don't like Dak Prescott. I'm fully aware. And that's fine. What you need to understand is Dak Prescott is your quarterback at least for 2 more years. At least for 2 more years, Dak Prescott is going to be a quarterback. Contractually, they're not going to get off of him. Even if he sustains a major injury, they're going to hold on to him for at least 2 more years. Now, maybe Joe Milton plays some more. There's a lot of hypotheticals we can talk about. But right now, he's your starting quarterback. So let's talk about his actually ability and what he can do. Because Dak is a lot better than a lot of y'all give him credit for. And that explanation in the beginning of the video was fair and unbiased because it wasn't perfect. He even highlighted Dak has made puzzling decisions in important moments. I've said that on video. I've said it on live streams after the playoffs. Literally furious. Like, what Dak played like trash today. I haven't shied away from that. But that doesn't take away from my belief that I feel like he can get it done with the right coaching scheme, etc. Now, some of y'all will say, it's been too long. It's been too long. Why would I still believe in Dak Prescott? Well, I would counter with this. I think that is a lot to do with your bias of the player. 4th round pick, wasn't supposed to be here. Some of you were mad because he took Tony Romo's job, and you never let that go. You're going to hold it against him forever. Some of you are mad because of some of you are, and let's just be honest with yourself. You don't have to lie to me. I get to observe this from the end of I like Dak Prescott. So I see what all the scrutiny looks like. Every package it comes in, I see it. And I start to understand, like, okay, some of this stuff isn't even football related. But if we keep it football, right? I just feel like some of you guys are very biased to the point where the goalpost moves, the standards move, it's double standards, etc. Take, for instance, Lamar Jackson. Accolades out the window. But everyone seems to tell me the only accolade that matters is a Super Bowl championship until it's time to denigrate Dak. Because if I say, well, Lamar Jackson hasn't won anything, the first thing you will throw in my face, well, he has multiple MVPs. Look at his stats. But when I say Dak's stats in any vein, he's been an all-pro. He's led the league in touchdowns. Some of his accolades. Where's the playoff success? But I say, where's Lamar's playoff success? People will say, well, look at his accolades. And it's infuriating because even if you say Dak Prescott isn't Lamar Jackson, fine. The whole point of this video is the fact to say he's in the same similar tier. If there's tier 1, tier 2 between the top 10, top 5, and Dak's in tier 2. And I'm fine with that. I'm just saying that Dak is too talented for y'all to think that Dak Prescott isn't good enough to be considered a top 10 quarterback. That's the thing that kind of trips me out. Same with Josh Allen. Phenomenal talent. Accolades out the window when it comes to statistics, rushing touchdowns and things like that. But he hasn't gotten it done. I know he's gotten close, but no one wears there's not a Buffalo fan that wears Josh Allen got close t-shirts. It's not a thing. So, like I said, the standards just flip depending on who you like or who you don't. Not to mention, you'll say, well, Dak's been in the league man long. They're 2 years apart. Dak came in 2016. These gentlemen came in 2018. That's not leaps and bounds. 2 years apart is close. That means in 2 years, you guys are going to say, you know what, it's time to move off Josh Allen. If things don't break perfectly and Josh Allen doesn't win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, if Lamar Jackson just doesn't win a Super Bowl in 2 years, you guys are ready to just give up on him? No. You say, because no, they're too talented. Look at what they've done. They've gotten really close. The biggest argument people have is that Dak has not gotten really close. And this is the thing. Dak's teams have not gotten really close. You go back, just be honest. We're going to be honest on this video. Go back and watch the playoff games. And I know y'all want Dak to be Superman. I've never claimed for him to be. I think he's an excellent quarterback. Dan can get us over the hump. Because I've seen lesser quarterbacks do it. I've seen Blake Bortles do it. You're not about to tell me. I've seen Eli Manning do it. I'm sorry. I've seen lesser quarterbacks just play really good in certain moments because their team showed up. Eli Manning, that Super Bowl he won, if David Tyree doesn't make that catch, that circus catch, we're not even having that conversation. It's a circus catch. Pin it in your, it's a circus catch. It's not because Eli's throw was so perfect that it pinpoint hung in the helmet. No. It was a prayer. Dak makes a prayer throw in the San Francisco game. He does. And if that catch is made in the first San Francisco loss, if that catch is made, we might be having a different conversation about Dak Prescott right now. Your teammates have to show up too. There has been no magical defensive performance. I've seen the Eagles have Hassan Reddick break a player's arm and their defense raise up and shut things down. I've seen their running game take games over. You go back to the playoff game where there was a unit, and this is where the honesty has to come in. And y'all can say I don't care, then click off the damn video. But if you want to have an honest conversation, you go back to the playoff game that we lost, where another unit was just playing above and Dak was just dragging down. Because I really thought about it. I can't remember it. In the Green Bay game, the defense played horribly. And so did Dak at first. Dak got his mind right, got it together. You know, some people say garbage time. I don't know how that works in the playoffs. You're trying to win no matter what. And Dak eventually scored almost 30 points. Now they dropped like 50, but because the defense couldn't get no stops. There was no magical pass rush run. In none of the San Francisco game, Dak was one of the only players trying to get it done. Tony Pollard didn't come out there and ball out. There was no magical run game. CeeDee Lamb was trying his best, but he was bracketed. And Dak was forcing the ball to him. Interceptions. Because there was no other players. There's T.Y. Hilton. There's Noah Brown. That's what we went against the Niners with. Noah Brown, T.Y. Hilton, CeeDee Lamb, and Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott. It's not dominant. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, he's not played his best in the playoffs. He hasn't. But if you just put everything to the side and look at him as a player, he is 2 years removed from a runner-up to MVP. Like, I'm talking about, like, to the point where he has statistically better stats than Lamar across the board. Across the board. They gave Lamar that MVP because he beat San Francisco late in the season. Let's just be honest. His team beat San Francisco late in the season. Because if you watch that game, the defense dominated San Francisco, not Lamar. He won an MVP because his defense showed up for him, which is my entire point. A lot of this stuff is team-oriented. Yes, the quarterback gets to take the accolades, but the teams do a lot of the heavy lifting. It's part of it. And no team has been there to be like, yo, we was balling and Dak is just terrible. That's why the Cowboys haven't got off Dak, because they know the truth. Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones know they haven't surrounded that man with the proper talent. They was trying to skirt the edges. I just made a video last night, literally yesterday, talking about we need a better running back, because we do. We do. That's the truth. We need another corner, because we do. Because our corners are hurt, we're waiting for them to heal up. We need a better defensive tackle, because we do. Because we always go cheap in that arena. You know, and some of the other teams that don't do these things and go after it get the results that they pay for. But Dak takes the brunt of the negativity. Sometimes I almost wish that he wasn't on this team so that you can realize, okay, now we look like what we looked like last year with Cooper Rush, where you don't even think you can win at all. See, there's a difference. With Dak, I feel like we're going to lose, man. But you know what? You get to the playoffs, you have a successful season. There's a lot of positivity. With a player like a Cooper Rush, maybe a Joe Milton, you lose all confidence. We don't even have a shot. So look, man, Dak Prescott, I'll get off my high horse, off my soapbox, and off my soliloquy. Dak Prescott is 100% still a top 10 quarterback. I wanted to discuss all those things because I want you to realize why people don't consider him a top 10 quarterback. It's a lot of personal bias that doesn't even have to do with football. When you just look at the numbers, you look at how he plays, look at how he plays. Watch him manipulate the line. Watch him change plays at the line. Watch him make pinpoint laser seam throws. And you realize where he came from when he was a 4th round pick and people didn't think he could throw. And Dak, but then sometimes he's had the most air yards through a season. He's had almost 5,000 yard seasons. He's led the league in touchdowns. You're talking about this man has brought himself from a place that he should not have been all the way where he's at. The fact that we're having this conversation is amazing. He's a 4th round pick that no one believed in. And he still got some juice left. It's not over. I'm literally watching Giants fans try to convince themselves of Russell Wilson. I'm seeing Pittsburgh Steelers fans thinking, maybe Aaron Rodgers still got some left. And I'm not allowed to believe that Dak Prescott, who did not tear an ACL, knock on wood, he tore his hamstring, a very healable injury. And people acting like he climbing out of a wheelchair. No disrespect to anybody that's disabled. Dak Prescott's going to be fine. He's going to ball out this year. And his success will ultimately be determined on how his team shows up in the biggest moments with him. Not just him. Even Tom Brady left the Patriots because they didn't give him enough. The GOAT, the guy that they said it didn't matter who you put out there with him. Oh, yes, it did to him, or he wouldn't have left the Patriots to go to the Bucks, who was willing to surround him with talent. Think. And if Tom Brady needs talent, why wouldn't Dak Prescott, 4th round pick, perennial most hated player I have ever seen, I stand on that, need any assistance. Get that man some more help to shore things up. And in the biggest moments, maybe your running back can help carry your team for a little bit. Maybe your defense, with the proper pieces put into place, can carry a team to a playoff win. Some of these teams aren't just led through the playoffs by just their quarterback. And that's the truth. But I'll leave y'all with this. My answer, Dak is still a top 10 quarterback. That's the facts.